Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Pregnancy discrimination is a type of discrimination that occurs when a pregnant woman is fired or treated unfairly in some way because she's pregnant or planning to become pregnant at the workplace.
Yeah. Now, with so much pregnancy discrimination still taking place in various industries, we brought in HR consult Cindy Hendricks to chat to us about pregnancy rights within the workplace. Welcome to the loft, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
This is such an important conversation, and I don't feel like we talk about it enough. Yeah. When a woman is applying for a job and she might be pregnant or planning to fall pregnant, or she is pregnant and has a job, when should she disclose? Does she have to disclose? Does she have to tell her boss?
Okay, so the Basic Conditions of Employment Act protects women with regards to pregnancy. So it really states that you've got to disclose to the company in writing, and all it says is 4 weeks prior to you commencing your maternity leave. And so with that being said, obviously, there's the right thing to do. So, you know...
I was about to say, 4 weeks isn't much.
Yeah, so the right problem is that it's possibly visible, but obviously in cases, in some cases, it would not be visible. So that's all the law really requires, but there's obviously a work ethic that one would expect from people. Is to advise timeously, and like I said, there's an obviousness for some people that they, cannot hide it for very long.
Yeah.
So, so in terms of the Employment Equity Act protects women against discrimination. So you may not be discriminated on any ground such as race, gender, age, and pregnancy is one of those.
Wow. Okay, now that you have informed your employer that you're pregnant and you now need to fill in a maternity leave form, is there a maternity leave form? How do you go about commencing your maternity leave?
Okay, so like I said, you would advise them that you're going on maternity leave. Again, the Basic Conditions of Employment Act covers you for 4 months. But many companies, so many companies develop their own maternity policies. And that will determine payments. Again, the Basic Conditions of Employment Act is silent around payment, and you are entitled to UIF benefits.
Wow. But so a company must pay you when you're on maternity?
No,
oh,
not necessarily. So each company develops their own policies. And it could range anything from 30% of your salary, 50%, 75%, even up to 100% of your salary. So people are often, they misunderstand this point and they think the company they have to pay you, but they don't actually have to. So it is dependent on the policy. So it's important that you understand what your company policy is. So besides the payment portion, there's also the period of maternity leave. Again, some companies do 4 months, 6 months, even up to 12 months.
Yeah. And once a company knows that a woman is pregnant, are they required to create a stress-free environment for her, or an environment that is helpful and supportive?
So the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, again, covers you in terms of protection. Stress-free doesn't specifically talk about stress-free, but it talks about they cannot permit you to work in a hazardous environment. Okay. So say, for example, someone works in a smoking area, or the type of work that they do is possibly hazardous to themselves while they're pregnant, or to the baby, and as well as nursing. So not just pregnancy, but it's also for a period of nursing for 6 months. So the company is obliged to try and find your alternative employment, a suitable alternative employment for that period.
Wow. And if a company decides to replace you while you're away on maternity leave, what happens then? What if people fear losing their jobs?
Okay. So there is protection, once again, from a discrimination perspective, they may not do that. So the company can replace you while you're on maternity leave. The Labour Relations Act makes provision for the company to specifically employ a temporary employee for that specific reason, but they may not terminate your services. They can't, nothing can be affected, your benefits, your terms and conditions of employment. You are protected, so you have a job when you come back, so they may not do that. Yeah. If obviously it does happen, they've got recourse to go to the CCMA.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Cindy.
You're welcome.
So get ready for some heartfelt music after the break as Leon John performs his latest single for the very first time in The Loft.